Not gonna lie, Mashima Hiro is a very busy person for sure. And I mean, after the successes of stuff like Rave Master, or Fairy Tail, or Eden Zero, which is his other works and have gotten anime adaptations, um, you can't just look at his characters and not think that they look all the same and a bunch of other things like that, because they genuinely do. One thing I can say with absolute certainty is that his adaptation, I wanna, is it a? I don't even know how to describe it, if I'm being completely honest. I'm actually at a loss of words. So basically, Farmagia is a anime adaptation of a cozy game. Basically, the Farmagia game released last year, and for some reason got an anime adaptation. Not sure how or why, but it's not particularly good. So let's actually get into probably the opening and ending themes, which are both not particularly good, and I just kind of skipped them both. So we're already starting on a negative foot. But basically, the idea of Farmagia is that there is a world of people called Farmagia. Basically, these are farmers that control monsters that are like plants that they've planted. And basically, also, they can use these monsters to fight as well. So, like, one of the characters has turnips. Another one has little mini dragons. Another one has, I don't know, trying to think, lizards? I forgot what the lizards are called. But basically, like, one has frogs as well, yeah. So basically, like, these monsters are used for gardening, planting plants, and then when those plants grow up, they eventually then turn into monsters themselves. Of course, before those monsters turn to plants, the harvesting that happens is also used for fruits and vegetables, like how we would in our day-to-day. The only time you wouldn't turn vegetation into food is when they already turn into monsters, and stuff like that. And it seems like an interesting idea. I feel like a lot of things can be very much done with that, but the thing is that a lot of things are not done with it. In fact, it's actually incredibly poorly done, all things considered. There is a plot, and that is all I am that's all I am willing to say with this show. There is a plot. I followed it to some extent. I then completely lost the plot, and then I was just watching it because I pretended like I was watching Fairy Tail. Basically, this... I don't know. I feel like at some point I got high on my own farts and then just kept watching Farmagia. There are characters. They look a lot like the characters you would expect to see from Fairy Tail. From maybe not Rave Master, because I feel like Rave Master is one of his more unique franchises outside of just that and Fairy Tail. I suppose Rebecca from Eden Zero seems kind of unique, but I feel like Farmagia is just too on the nose with its characters. Like, the main character feels like Natsu, but it isn't. His rival is Grey, but not really. The character Archie, she embodies basically what Lucy was from Fairy Tail. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like a bunch of stuff, random betrayals thrown in for no reason, other events happening. For some reason, the translation kept calling the Demon Lord as Magius, Magius instead of like Demon Lord, which is technically where the word goes to. But there's a bunch of mistranslations. The voice acting is fine, I guess. I suppose that's one good thing. The world is fairly interesting and has a lot of promise, but again, a lot of it just really isn't done all that well. Normally I would like try and recap at least some level of the plot. So basically, main character gets into fights because he gets told to do stuff. He's not able to win the fight, and then he gets random power up. That's basically what happens. See, I'm at a loss, because the thing is that rather than focusing on the negatives, I'm just gonna like talk about the stuff I like and then just say that I hate everything else. So, what do I like? As much as I complain about the character designs, they're serviceable at best. Surely it's got to be something better. The world is very interesting. and has some good ideas to it, like the idea of farmers being also people that can control monsters, and those monsters help the farmers farm and be able to create vegetation, which it will create more monsters, but also some of those vegetation will then be used for, like, you know, feeding the world, you know, the harvesting element, like almost like a cozy game. You know, that's got a lot of really cool promise to it. The problem is that a lot of that promise does get squandered very quickly and easily, and never reaches its full potential. So the potential for the world is just unfortunate, I think, more than anything. Outside of that, the monster designs are fine, I guess. Character, oh, I already talked about the character designs. What am I talking about? The plot is there, but it jumps way too quickly from one thing to another. I feel like Farmagia should have been given like a 24 episode run. But if it's an adaptation of the story from the game, then I do not have any positive elements towards the story of the game, and that I'm probably going to be forcing my way through the story, but at least enjoying the cozy game element of it when I do start playing it, because I do in fact own the game, but I haven't actually started playing it. So there's that as well. There's a lot of wording, naming terminology used from the, you know, from Mashima Hiro's other works, like Fairy Tail. So basically terms like the Oración Seis, for example, or like the sixth grade people, basically. Like that was a term used to describe or that was basically the name of a guild, I think, of 6 villains. So here, I don't know whether to look at these guys and call them villains or good guys, because it seems like everyone that is part of the Oración Seis are all like just completely different individuals that have their own things that they're going to try and do to keep the world from falling apart, even though some of them are villains that only exist to fight. I don't know. A lot of things just really have not been well thought out, and I feel like I'm just going to spend more time complaining about the characters, the world, the story, the art, and just everything. There's a good reason why this show only has a 5.68 on my anime list, when normally I rate lower than whatever is here. Sometimes I rate higher on occasion because I enjoy a show so much more. But I feel like I'm going to be definitely doing lower than this one, because giving this thing a 5 out of 10 is like... It kind of hurts me to my very soul. I did not enjoy the show at all, and I can't say that I have anything really all that positive to say about it. And whatever positives I do have to say, just make me think about the fact that all of that positivity gets completely squandered almost in its immediacy. I don't think that this is a show worth watching, and I don't think that I will ever recommend it, if I'm being completely honest. As someone who has seen all of Mashima Hiro's work, I would recommend, Eden Zero over this. I wouldn't recommend Fairy Tail over this. Fairy Tail is not actually particularly good, but hey, it's better than Farmagia. I can give it that much. I think Eden Zero is probably my favorite of his works. Rave Master also is quite good. I feel like both of those are kind of on an equal footing for me, but besides the point. So, Farmagia. I am just loading up the My Anime List app, going to complete it, and giving this a very solid 3 out of 10. I think that it is very bad. I don't think that it's worth watching. I don't think it's worth keeping up with. If you do watch it and you're like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and keep watching this show, sure, but just ignore the plot in its entirety. Also, another thing kind of worth mentioning is that, hey, if the show is so bad, why did I bother finishing watching it? Well, the thing is that I will stick to my guns, and I will keep saying over and over again, I watch everything that I start. Well, I'll always finish watching everything that I start. There is not a show that I won't drop, because every time I watch something good, I know what to get from it that's good, or that I like from the show, that I can describe to you guys. But also, if I'm watching something bad, I know why it's bad. I can tell you guys, these are the reasons why it's bad for me personally, and then other people can make their own opinions thereafter. For me, so many things are so bad, so rotten, like I don't know where to begin. So I tried to focus on the positives, but even then, those positives went into negative, and now I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give up on the whole idea and just ramble on about how much I don't like the show. But with all that being said, especially if you've seen the show, please comment below. Let me know what you guys think about the show, and also think about my video, because this is probably one of my more sort of negative reviews, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking a lot more about other shows negatively as well in the future, because not all shows are going to be stuff that I'm going to like, and also not all shows are created equal in that sense. So with all that being said, however, like I said, comment below, like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.